Hi friends. Oh man, guess what? I got hit up by the good people of Ganzo Knife. Okay, you know Ganzo Knife Company. They make the Firebird. Check this out. I did a video on this one a while back. Ganzo makes some really high quality knives. There it says made by Ganzo, and this one is 440C looks like, and it tells you the type of Ganzo knife this is. My eyes aren't so good, but I think it's a 739. So this is a Ganzo knife, right? Well, Ganzo hit me up, and look at that. Let's pull that back, put it right in. So Ganzo hit me up, and they wanted me to do a comparison between the world famous Morakniv companion. Check this out. You know this knife. You've seen this knife. You've used this knife, because this is probably the standard when it comes to outdoor knives. Okay, this is the Morakniv Scandinavian steel, or Swedish steel, Scandinavian style knife, and it's just a gorgeous knife. And it's okay. It's not gorgeous, but the thing is that it's utilitarian and it gets the job done every single freaking time. So guess what? Ganzo has a very, very similar product, right? Ganzo has their version of the outdoor knife, and it's called the Outdoor Knife by Ganzo. Okay, now they asked me to do a straight up comparison. Okay, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And let's face it, you know, these things are not made. I mean, beauty really is in the eye of the beholder, and my wife can testify to that because she picked me. So I mean, but the thing is that, you know, everybody has different likes and tastes of appeal. So I'm gonna do a kind of a, you know, my subjective point of view, you know, a comparison, right? But I'm gonna try and make it as objective as I possibly can, talking about steels, the knife, how it feels in the hand. I'm gonna look at as many factors as I can. And this is only the first part of the video. So I want to go ahead, we're going to open these packages. And in this first part of the video, we're going to start off with something as simple as, let's see how we can open the packages. How easy it is to open each one of these to get to it. All right? So what do you say we start with the Morakniv? Let's open her up. This thing is dangerous because they are so sharp, right? I'm thinking I'm going to twist this like this. See if I can get it to open. Okay, yeah, that's not hard at all. You gotta be careful with that. Look at that, it's coming right out. The Morakniv was very, very easy to open. Feels good in the hand, and this plastic rubber handle, although it's very rudimentary, there you see a tiny little piece of the rubber coming off. You know, it feels really good. This feels like it's gonna get the job done every time. And you don't play with this edge. You all know that, because this thing is razor sharp on these Moraknivs, right? We're gonna put that right here back in the sheath, make it safe, right? While we look at a couple of these features, right? The Morakniv has a friction grip, so you can get a better hold. It has a finger guard. So yeah, it's got a little finger guard, not much of one, but it is there. Let's put that away again. And then we have a Scandi grind. So you have what's called Scandi grind, which is flat right here, and then there's a little bevel right there, right? It's very good. And you have a Swedish stainless steel. Now, this type of stainless steel is carbon steel. It is carbon steel, so this will rust, but it's like carbon stainless. And let's see. Made in Sweden. It doesn't tell me the exact kind of steel. It doesn't have a name. All right, but very light in the hand. Really, really good knife. This thing is been proven by so many different outdoors channels as well. It's a good knife, but we're going to compare it to the other one, right? So looking at this, it's 2.5 millimeters wide. The blade right there, it tells you about the width of the blade. 104 millimeters long. Let's see, and what else information? It says this knife is reliable companion that is designed to perform in any weather condition. It works both as an introductory knife for the younger generation as well as for more experienced outdoor enthusiasts. The 2.5 millimeter blade is made of Swedish stainless steel and has a Scandi grind profile that makes it easy to keep sharp. Yeah, very nice. Okay, so that's the Morakniv, right? We've seen it, we've used it. I had one. I gave it to my mother-in-law as a gift, and missed it ever since. And lo and behold, they sent me another one. The good people of Ganzo sent me one because they wanted me to compare it. Now, as you can see, it was not hard to open this package at all. And I'm afraid usually of those packages, because the clamshell type packages was very hard to open, but this wasn't clamshell. It was just cardboard on the plastic. So nice, very nice. Now let's open up the Ganzo. Okay, well, as I can see right here, it looks like, I'm gonna open from the bottom because that looks like it's already happening. Let's see. Ooh, to keep it fresh. Okay, do not eat this at all. This is poisonous. This is to keep the knife fresh and nutritious. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, we're gonna toss that aside. And oh, look at that. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm seeing that this has a little informational paper as well. Let's take a look at the box itself. As you can see, it was very easy to open. This is the model G806 GB, which might stand for Ganzo Blades, I believe. Outdoor knife. Overall length, 217 millimeters. Blade length, 98 millimeters. Blade thickness, 2.3 millimeters. The steel is HCR14. HCR14 is also a type of carbon steel, right? It is like a stainless type of steel, but it will corrode because it's carbon eventually. Blade hardness is 56 plus or minus. Okay. Handle material, PP, which I believe is plastic, and TPR, some type of plastic. Let's see. Well, that, yeah. And then knife weight, 88.5 grams. Net weight is 117 grams. Okay. So, you know, let's see. I like to hold them in my hand and I like to compare. So, okay, just holding them in my hand, I can't really see a difference in weight at all. I don't see a difference in weight in the hand. You know, switch them over. You know, I want to say that the Ganzo feels a tad bit heavier, but not enough to make a difference. Honestly, you guys have heard me say in my show before that I do prefer like something a little heavier when I'm carrying a knife, because I want to know that it's there. I don't want to forget that I have it. You know, usually I carry knives on my belt, carry knives in my pocket, and I don't certainly want to lose a knife anywhere, and I want to feel that I'm actually carrying it. If it's too light, I forget that it's there, and I don't like that. Okay, so real quick, I read you those stats. Let's see what's in here. So we have a nice warranty card from Ganzo. Not bad. We have, it's kind of like an advertisement for Ganzo. Okay, not bad at all. I might check that out later. All right, and there's a website, ganzoknife.com. All right, so let's take a look first at the scabbard. The scabbard itself, we're going to set the knife down before we look at that. It's plastic as well. It says made in Sweden right there. Pretty cool. This is the belt loop. It's got this little hook in here that acts as a keeper for your belt. Very reliable. Very nice. It also has a hole in the bottom so that if you're cutting some type of game or you're cleaning a fish or something like that, that all those delicious juices are going to come down the bottom right here, and it's not going to stay in your scabbard. That's very important because it will rust your knife, right? So very, very nice. Okay, let's take a look at this one. First of all, it was very, very simple to pull this knife out from there. It's kind of loose. It doesn't stay in there with any amount of friction. I mean, there's a little bit, but basically what's holding this in place is gravity. Okay, now I'm trying to pull this one out. The Ganzo, and I already sense a little bit of friction, which is good. I want it to be hard to pull it out. Let's see. Okay, not bad. So it does have some retaining capability. So this sheath, look, did you hear that? It's snapped. So if you pay close attention, the Ganzo actually has a little lip right here, close to the pommel area, a little lip, and that lip actually snaps in there. See that? There's a place for it to snap into. There's some claws in there that grab it. So real nice, and then let's listen. Sweet. That is important. This one doesn't have it. That's important to me because I want to know that it's securely in place. So I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you so much, Ganzo. Pretty darn cool. And look, this is the lip right here that keeps it in your belt loop. Very similar, sorry about that, very similar to that of the Morakniv. There you can see both. The Morakniv has a lip here that kind of makes it easier for you to just go down and clip it automatically. It kind of sticks out a little bit, which is great. On the Ganzo, you kind of have to slip it through here, or you kind of have to pick it up so that you can clip it in. So on that one, point for the Morakniv, because you can just kind of go zoop and it'll clip on your belt. But again, gravity is mostly what's holding that one in. Yeah, keep that in mind. This one snaps in. So let's unsnap it. Okay, let's take a look at the sheath some more. All right. So yeah, okay, looking at that, it's very similar. Let's look at both sheaths. very similar. One thing you can tell right away is that the sheath is longer on the Morakniv, and you can also tell that they're built very, very similar. Nice. Little bit of advertising here on the Morakniv, right here on the Ganzo. Okay. I don't know. I kind of like the look of the Ganzo sheath better. Kind of looks like a, I don't know. You remember that Batman mobile, that Batman car that had like the real cool, you know, windshield on both sides like that? It kind of looks like that. I don't know. That's what I kind of think about. All right. Very nice. Does it have the hole? Yes, it does. This one has a rectangular hole as well, so that you can take out all of the juices. All right. Nice. Let's set those aside over here. Now, let's carry just the knives by themselves. Looking at them side by side comparison, we can see that they are about the same length. There's not really that much of a discernible difference in the length. Now, I'm going to carry each one separately to see how it feels in the hand and give it a fair assessment, okay? So let me do that right quick. Okay, holding this one, I like that the blade is kind of going down. It's like has a downward slope right here. It starts off straight, and then it has a downward slope right there. I love that about it. Feels really good in the hand. It has got a nice natural curve going down, but at the same time, it's a clip point. So really, really nice. Okay, feels good. Notice the thickness of the steel. I'm going to hold them up together in a little bit and see if we can discern a difference. All right. Now let's look at the Ganzo. Steel looks very similar, not as polished as a Morakniv, okay? If that's something that's important to you, something you may want to consider, okay? But there it says HCR 14. On this side, it says Ganzo, and I'm holding it. And I have to tell you, I like these little ridges, these little scalloping right here that it has on the handle. This reminds me of like the butt of a rifle stock, kind of like the rifle stock has some embellishments along where you're going to pull the trigger. That's what this reminds me of. And then you have some nice scalloping up here on top, some jimping on the plastic right there. And, you know, it just feels a little bit better to me as far as holding it. It's a little narrower too. The Morakniv is just a tad bit wider, I want to say. Just a tad, not too much. But I have to tell you, they're very similar. However, I like the Ganzo. It feels like it's not going to fall out of my hand. Another feature I'm noticing on the Ganzo is that it's got a lanyard hole. That's something I like very much because you may want to use that to pull it out, or you may want to hang it somewhere. If you're working in a kitchen, just take it there and hang it. Really good, really useful. Okay, shape of the blade. Now the other one has a downward slope. Now right away you can tell that the Ganzo blade is wider. Okay, it's wider. It's not as narrow as the Morakniv. Doesn't really have a Scandi grind, but you notice that bevel in the edge right there. Yeah, really good. A little concave in there, convex. Good. Really nice downward slope on the blade. Let's look at the thickness of the steel. Thickness of the steel is very, very similar, but I'm going to have to give it to the Morakniv. I think the Morakniv steel is just a bit thicker than the Ganzo. I don't think either of these are going to have any trouble slicing through poultry, fish, any kind of meat. But if you're going to do some batoning, you know, you want this to be a little bit thicker over here, and see how it narrows down a little bit. Nice. That may explain the weight difference a little bit. Now, I do like the handle better on the Ganzo. That's for sure. Got a tiny bit of a choil right there. See that? For sharpening. Does the Morakniv have a choil? No, it does not. It does not have a choil. All right. So I like that little choil if you're going to sharpen it. Okay. So the length of the blade is not even hardly an issue. They're pretty even. But I think I'm going to have to give it to the Morakniv just slightly. Not by much, just slightly. Now, the Ganzo does have more of a brushed look where the Morakniv is polished. But I have to tell you, with these knives, it doesn't really freaking matter, because once they start to, once you start chopping with it, cutting with it, slicing through flesh and all kinds of wonderful things, you know, they're going to start to get a nice patina. And that's what carbon steel usually does. All right. So that's going to be the first part of this video. So in the second part of the video, what I do intend to do is I intend to do some slicing. I might get a couple of things to cut, maybe some tomatoes, maybe some fruits, veggies, things like that. And we're going to start to get those blades nice and dirty. We're going to get them nice and dirty, my friends. And then we're just going to wipe them down. We're just going to wipe them down. We're not going to do much else to them, because we're going to go ahead and we are going to let them get a nice patina and see what happens. Let's see which one patinas first. What do you say, amigos? What do you say? All right, let's sheath these bad boys. Okay, this one kind of feels like more of a military green, OD green G.I. Joe look. Like that very much. This one looks like a tan, kind of like a tan look. Oh, check it out. Oh, it does snap in place. It wasn't doing it earlier. Maybe I wasn't pressing hard enough. Yep. The Morakniv also snaps in place, amigos. It does. Very good. Yeah, I do see some teeth in there too. Not bad. Okay. Yep. I'm going to have to give it equal marks there too. Equal marks on the Morakniv, equal marks on the Ganzo as far as how the friction is for pulling it out of the scabbard. Same. Okay, so far they're doing really well. I do see some design things that I like better on the Ganzo, such as the lanyard hole. I like the embellishment right here. And I do also like that it has a choil on the blade. So this is the first part of the comparison. And this is just a comparison so that you guys can decide which one you want to buy. Or if you already own the Morakniv, which, let's face it, most people probably do, you might want to try this one too, either as a secondary knife or as a primary when you go hunting, fishing, camping, and so forth. So next video, we're going to chop some stuff. We might cut a few things, and hopefully not ourselves, because each of these bad boys is razor sharp, amigos. All right, this has been a long one, so I'm going to go ahead and do this video. The next video, we're going to continue the comparison. Take care, my friends. God bless. Go ahead and like and subscribe, amigos.